What's going on, people? This is your bro Crypto Cliff here with my brother Crypto Kenny. How you doing today, brother?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. I was getting a little tired, but now that I know we got to get this information out to the public, I'm fired up. So, this is important information. So, let's get after it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the topic of today is a topic that a lot of people ask me all the time. But I never really gave a full out story. I give my stories out all the time to my students, but I never really kind of did a small short story on how I made my first $1 million. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions on how hard it is to actually make $1 million. So let me give you some backstory on it right quick. There are over 22 million millionaires in America. Think about that. 22 million millionaires in America. That's people who have a net worth of over $1 million. Now, when you look at that figure versus what we see in society, it seems a lot. It seems that road seems a lot shorter, right? That goal seems tangible. It seems reachable. What do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, it's easy for you to say as far as that goal seems reachable. For other people, it's a little bit different. I can see it. The reason that I can see it is because I have great mentors. You're one of my mentors. Obviously, I wasn't connected to you before you made your million, but the relationship I've had with you over the last year and change has definitely broadened my scope on what it takes to get it done. Even before I started doing business with you on a regular basis, I had two other mentors that eclipsed the $1 million mark. So it has been it's been mentally challenged for me, to be able to create that consistency, that lifestyle, and also be patient in terms of waiting my turn. But it's tangible for me because of my association. I know it's possible because I've seen, people just like me, that look like me, do it, and there's no excuse behind why they did and why they didn't do it. But I wanted to, and just kind of like what we were speaking about earlier, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this type of conversation is because throughout my tenure, being the owner of Bitcoin Campus and developing that resource center and mentoring people and coaching people, I realized that the vast majority of people have some really incorrect misconceptions that is preventing them from taking advantage of the opportunities that's right in front of their face. And one of the misconceptions that I wanted to address in this conversation with you is the idea of being able of knowing that, or just I wouldn't say the idea, but just also having the full understanding that in order to be successful within the market, a good amount of money has to be in the market, right? It sounds really easy when I say that. It sounds really basic, like basic information, but the average person and their behavior patterns and the way that they look at the concept of, becoming financially free or taking advantage of what's around them, their behavior patterns, or subconsciously, maybe they don't even know it, but I don't really think they understand that a certain amount of money has to be in the market in order to become a millionaire. Most people are looking for the $1 million opportunity that you could put, $100 in and take out $1 million. You know what I mean? And do that in 30 days, right? So, just I guess with that being said, talk to me about, kind of like your journey, the disciplines that you had, and what kind of money you were putting into the market on a regular basis when you first got started.
So when my first initial investment into investing period was actually buying and selling stocks. I started out as a forex trader, but I was spending putting maybe a few $100s a week, of every other week into the markets. That was my initial investment, a few $100s. Now, because we're talking about crypto, which is what I made the bulk of my wealth from. My first initial investment into crypto was $1,000. That was when I bought Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was roughly around $127 per BTC, right? But the key to building wealth, and the key that I used to building wealth was, just like you said, you have to keep money in the market. It's not about you putting a significant amount of money in the market. It's about those small acorns or those small crumbs that you put into the market consistently. That's what builds your wealth in the markets. So small amounts going into a larger pool is what builds your wealth. Another thing a lot of people don't know, and I didn't even know this at first, is the market moves in waves. The market moves in cycles. So putting your money into the market at the right time is pivotal for your advancement in any type of investment class, right? So that was a lesson I had to learn. It took me 7, almost 8 years to build up my first million. But it was that within that 7
Oh, wow.
period that I consistently added on to the market. Now, if I would have had the knowledge of how market swings work, if I would have had the knowledge of how the market cycles work, I could have cut that curve down easily to 3 to 4 years.
Got you. And I know it's a little bit different because you're one of the pioneers. You got in pretty early. When Bitcoin was under anybody that could get Bitcoin under $1,000. Consider themselves extremely lucky, right?
Absolutely.
But year to year, what type of amount would you say you can kind of look at and say, you know what, I was comfortably putting X in with my disciplines. Obviously, it probably grew throughout the time of the increase with your portfolio, but based on budget, based on habits and discipline, do you have an idea of the amount that you were putting into the market year by year?
Yeah. So outside of the investment money that I was actually flipping, the money that I had consistently coming in from other different sources, I was probably putting around 10K a year in the markets earlier. That's outside of the money I was actually day trading. That's outside of the money I was actually flipping that was already in the markets. What built my wealth was actually the money that I consistently had inside of the market. It's that frequency of you being in the game versus you just putting money into a pile. That's what actually continuously builds your wealth. It's the frequency. Because once you're in something, you're in it. And you're in it to either win it or you're in it to lose it. But regardless of what, you really don't lose because you're just gaining lessons. But regardless of what, you're in that frequency. So as long as I was in that frequency, I can put $10,000 into the market every year. Outside income. If that makes sense.
Got you. So what was already growing in the market was already there that you were working on, and you would put an additional 10,000 on top of that. Is there any did you have any specific strategy with it? Were you doing how are you dollar cost averaging in your life, in your portfolio initially?
Yeah. So when I first started in the game, now we have over 20,000 cryptocurrencies. When I first started in the game, we only had maybe 30 cryptos on the planet. So I was in that just that early. So I took
I think about it, man.
Yeah. Mm. So I took the majority of the money I had and I spread across those 30. Now, here's the thing. I was always more Ethereum and Bitcoin heavy than everything else until XRP came along, and then I was more XRP heavy than Ethos. Then those came along, then VeChain came along, and those earlier crypto products. IOTA, that came along. But I lost probably out of that 30, 20 of those were hit and miss. I remember Verge. A lot of people don't even know Verge even existed. Verge was one of the biggest cryptocurrencies back in the day. That went through the roof. I mean, it went through the roof at one point. I made money with Verge, and then it completely tanked. BitConnect was another one that was big. It ended up being a scam. I got scammed out of money with BitConnect. You know what I'm saying?
You were in BitConnect?
I was in BitConnect. I got scammed out of money with BitConnect. When it comes down to, they had a whole entire industry of marijuana cryptocurrencies, hemp coin, dope coin, pot coin, marijuana coin. That was a big industry back then. A lot of people don't even know those existed. I still hold some of those coins in my portfolio that I can't even spend because they no longer exist. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of those coins actually failed, but I kept firm and I stayed steady with my dollar cost averaging with Bitcoin, Ethereum. Then when XRP came along, then when Litecoin came along, then when those other products came along that were premium cryptocurrency products, I built my wealth from those products.
Yeah. Got it.
And I like to tell people a lot, especially when people come to me for one-on-ones. It's cool. It's absolutely cool to chase the meme coins, but you have to have a structured portfolio of premium cryptocurrencies that's going to gain money consistently over the years. Take a small bag to go chase meme coins, but always stay true to your premium bag because that's your wealth builder.
Yeah, and in dealing with those types of projects, especially meme coins, you can't be emotionally attached to those swings, or you're gonna miss out. You're either gonna not know when to take out, or you're gonna be in a situation where you're just holding the bag. Like, well, not knowing when to take out doesn't necessarily mean you'll hold the bag. It could mean that when it does take a spike, you're not transferring your profits correctly. And then you end up losing the amount of money that you could have made because you were trying to go to the moon, right? Those fluctuations with coins that are under a penny. I'm in a couple of those projects right now, and you got to have mental toughness to deal with that type of fluctuation to even see that, because some of those projects don't even have that much liquidity, so the liquidity is bouncing all over the place, and the prices are going. One day it could be $10, the next day it could be $50, and then drop back down to $4, then go back up to $80. So when you're seeing those types of things, obviously if you haven't dealt with that type of visual before, make sure you're properly educated to kind of identify those types of projects. But being involved with those, it definitely can help somebody become rich. They just have to understand how to invest in that type of category.
Absolutely.
But when I wanted to speak to you about as well, while I have you, I know you've been doing a lot of work with Bitcoin Campus, assisting us with identifying how to buy the coins, where to go, what patterns to see, even for some small time trades. And now you're going to be doing purchasing crypto properly, part 3. And I believe that's going to be on Sunday. Give us an idea of some of the things that you're going to speak about in this call, in this class, I should say, compared to parts 1 and 2.
Well, that's actually going to be on Monday night, Monday evening. But yeah.
So Monday's the 17th?
Yeah, Monday the 17th. Yeah. This class right here is going to be a precursor to the first 2 classes. So the first 2 classes, the first class was basically walking through exchanges, showing people the different functionalities of different exchanges, right? Then the second class was us actually going in live and setting up exchanges while we're doing it live on camera, right? That class right there was probably the biggest one, bigger than number 1, because people really, really were engaged. People really, really got the understanding they really, really needed. And on top of that, it was hands-on. So part 3 is going to be just as hands-on as part 2. But the topic of part 3 is the art of decentralization. Now, if everybody knows what's going on in the world right now, banks are collapsing. We have the FedNow coin getting ready to drop in July, right? So companies and banking systems and institutions are now trying to hold on to every single bit of data that you share on a day-to-day basis. Your data is not a new currency. So they want to control all access to everything we spend and know exactly what we spend or where we're spending it, right? So the art of decentralization is about learning different skill sets where you can learn where to buy certain crypto assets, decentralized crypto assets on decentralized exchanges, even overseas exchanges, where you can hide your money, where you can hold your wealth, where they don't have access to it. They don't know how to get into that realm. They don't have access to the information in that realm. So that's why it's so imperative that everybody needs to get into this course. Everybody should be on this course right here, because eventually, starting in July, they will have access to every single bit of your data. I don't know if anybody's read about FedNow. I don't know if they read about the new thing they have on Senate right now, getting ready to pass. They're trying to access everything and have full control over all of our data. Everything we do, everything we spend, the hours you spend on social media, your work hours, everything. So having cross-border information or having cross-border transactional currencies with decentralized cryptocurrencies, not just decentralized cryptocurrencies. Here's a side note that I didn't even tell everybody. I'm also going to teach you about how to buy and sell, how to buy and get silver and gold. That's a cross-border asset that they don't have access to, that you can use and spend anywhere. That's the name of the game. Cross-border assets, the art of decentralization.
Got it. Got it. And, these things have been exciting for the group. I must say, with all of the people that I've worked with throughout the course of the years, obviously, excluding like some people like Brandon Ivy and maybe Quentin Bradford, you've been, probably the most consistent. And not only that, the quality of information that you're sharing is enhancing the group. So majority of the people that I work with, that I have worked with you, end up really growing. And that's a testament to the way that you teach, your experience. And also, I'm growing as well, learning from you and taking these classes. So it's a lot of powerful information. I truly appreciate, everything that you do. And just to kind of give people that are watching this an understanding of how we're working in the community to kind of assist people with their cryptocurrency development. Bitcoin Campus is just a resource center that gives people access to individuals, education, projects. So we have passive income projects, we have education, and we have the ability to coach you as well, right? With different people. So we have individuals like Crypto Cliff and Brandon Ivy, Quentin Bradford, myself, so on and so forth, Michael Douglas. The list goes on and on. Even Ryan, even though he's focusing on trading now and reading charts, there's so many people in there. Strong leadership, women leadership. You're working with some, Rosa's a rising star. We have some veterans out there that, do pretty well, like Bridget. But the reason why I'm mentioning all of these things is because we're less than a year away from the halving. And if people are, if they don't have their stuff straight right now, or even understand how to set that up, they are really going to be kicking themselves in less than 2 years. And it's going to go by that quick. I mean, how fast did the last year go? We were just dealing with COVID. COVID seems like yesterday, but COVID was 3 years ago. So a year is going to pass by really quick. So the things that we're putting together in place for the marketplace, for the individuals out there, if they're not taking advantage of your classes, your one-on-one coaching, or some of the things that we're posting on a regular basis, I can't imagine how they're going to feel when things completely transition over and now they have to kind of learn things on the back end, instead of being in front of the wave that's occurring.
Absolutely. I think people need to stop being a part of popular culture. That's what's really, really detrimental to society in general. If it's not popular at the moment, no one wants to gravitate towards it. And I give you a perfect example: Dogecoin. Where did most people buy Dogecoin? Most people bought Dogecoin when Dogecoin was above 50 cents. If you look at the trading activity of Dogecoin, that's when the average person bought in Dogecoin, over 50%, over 50 cents, right? But where did the average whale dump Dogecoin? Right above 50 cents. So we have to stop playing on our emotions first off and stop going into popular culture, because popular culture, especially as an investor, especially if you want to be an investor, is going to be detrimental to you every single time. Same thing with AMC, GameStop play. Those plays were all popular plays because people everywhere around social media were talking about it. But that's not the time you want to get into a play like that. It's not the time you want to get into an investment. You want to get to the investment when that investment is all the way at the bottom. You want to get into that investment when no one is talking about it. You want to see the opportunity early, so that when you can move like a whale when that thing hits the all-time high, right? And the all-time high Bitcoin will happen by the end of 2024 next year, going into 2025. Not financial advice.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess from a standpoint of mentorship, who do you look up to, for leadership? Because you lead so many people look up to you, but when it comes to your individual mentor, who would you say that is?
I don't really have one, to be honest. The guy who actually got me into crypto, my brother Zip, he actually at one point in time he had over 12,000 Bitcoin. Yeah. He was more Bitcoin strong than anything. Crazy fact is he's well over a million. He's well over a multi-millionaire. But he had to come to me to actually learn other different aspects of cryptocurrency. So I ended up becoming his mentor, even though he taught me and showed me how to get into crypto. You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't really have anyone. I have people online I kind of look up to. I would say Crypto Pro is one of the people who I really, really kind of respect in the game. I would say more so respect and look up to because we bounce information off each other. Crypto Pro is someone who I really, really look up to. I would say maybe Mark Moss. The Modern Investor is a guy who puts out tons of different information, tons on YouTube. He puts out so much information, so much valuable information that is ridiculous. He may drop 3 videos a day. I know BitBoy. I know BitBoy personally. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know BitBoy personally. Me and him used to bounce information off each other personally. I mean, all the time. He's actually blown up now, so now he has the celebrity big head. But we reach out to each other every now and then through email. But a lot of these guys who are big time enthusiasts, crypto enthusiasts online, we came up in the game together, so we all have a mutual respect for each other. You know.
Nice. Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, I look at a lot of BitBoy's videos. You know, so that's pretty cool that you know him personally. Yeah, but you know, despite the mentorship, despite the information, you know, now's the time for folks to really take action. You know, if you're not working as hard as you can right now, if you're not learning as much as you can right now, if you're not trying to rub elbows with people that can lead you in the right direction as much as you can right now, this is a specific time in history that is extremely important. It's a pivotal time in history. You know, this is one of those times where, you know, when you look back at something, this time in history will be looked upon, you know, like a 9/11 or like a significant time where, you know, people will remember what they were doing, what was going on, you know. But for those of you that are just watching from the sidelines and not taking any type of action, not doing any type of investing, not focused on any type of opportunities out there, and somebody just called me, so I don't know if you guys lost me for a second, but if you're not doing that, you know, I kind of feel sorry for you, you know, quite honestly, because it'd be one thing if we were just saying these things and nothing was happening in society, but the media is filled with crypto right now. So it doesn't even sound like I'm some extreme, you know, a theorist or something. You know, there's, you know, what basically is happening in society all over the place. Everybody's heard of crypto. Everybody's heard of what's happening with digital assets and the transition. You can't speak to anybody in the financial industry right now that is not aware of what's happening with crypto. It wasn't like this a year ago.
No.
So what's it going to be like in a year? What's it going to be like in 5 years? You know, so these are the things that we have to constantly think about. So that's why I want to put these types of programs in place so that people have the opportunity to be able to advance their own portfolio and learn from people out there that have already done it.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, right before we just close everything out, people don't trust crypto, yet the United States government owns 244,000 Bitcoin.
Jeez, probably more than that. That's how much they're sharing with
us about,
with
right?
folks.
And they're using Bitcoin. They're trading Bitcoin to combat the inflation rate. So the same government that tells you not to trade Bitcoin is trading Bitcoin to combat their own debt. Tell me how that works out, right? But yeah, man, hey man, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Definitely, it was a pleasure. We definitely got to get on here and do some more lives. But yeah, man, let's go ahead. And you have anything else you want to say before we close out?
I just thank you, bro. You know, I thank you for always being ready. You know, I spoke to you about this earlier this afternoon, and you were ready. You were like, let's do the live today. Let's get it done. Even though you have a busy schedule and you have a lot of things that you're preparing for, you still made it happen. And that's just a testament to your leadership. I am honored to be working with you. I look forward to taking the class on Monday as well. And, I'm helping more people register for that. And yeah, I'm just excited about what the future brings. And, just wanted to let you know, how appreciative I am to be working with you.
Hey, thanks, brother. Likewise, man. Every time I hit you up, man, you're always willing to jump on the call or come in and give me words of encouragement, brother. So I want to thank you as well for everything you do and everything you do at Bitcoin Campus.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right. Cool.
All right. So yeah, if you haven't already done so, definitely want to reach out to myself if you're a part of Bitcoin Campus, just so we can get you. I think I don't know if you're still doing any promos, Cliff. Maybe some extensions for people in the Diamond Group or Bitcoin Campus before Monday. Maybe something last. You know, I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that offline. But you know, if you haven't registered or for the class that's coming up on Monday, now's the time. I've been extremely busy, so I haven't followed up with everybody that I was supposed to, but hopefully, you know, a live video like this will let you know. If I haven't reached out to you in regards to taking that class, reach out to me because, you know, I've been extremely busy with a lot of things that's taken place in my life. But, you know, we gotta be on point with this education. So it's important that we get that done as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get it, brother. We'll speak offline.
All right.
All right, cool. Peace, people.